we talked a little bit about how you got into it originally. I'd love for you to share the story of how, because obviously you don't come. I mean, not maybe somewhat adjacent, come from the bowling world, but I'd love to hear how you ended up getting into the reservation space specifically for bowling.
Yeah, I am a pretty horrible bowler to say the least, and I was pretty casual pretty much throughout my life, just bowling here and there. But when I went to school for web development, web design, and when I just got out of college, I had a mutual friend that owns a bowling alley. They own two duck pin locations in the Milwaukee area,
Mm-hmm.
and they always struggled with managing reservations. They had a 6 and a 10 lane location and a lot of throughput with their customers coming in and whatnot, and really struggling to find something that can handle the variety of reservations that bowling alleys typically see. So different durations, different party sizes, different number of lanes that they need, and then all of the different types of events that they offer, different packages, birthday parties, open play, all of that comes into play. And they just really wanted something that worked for their business model. And so I worked with them for probably about a year and a half to build the product based on what they were seeing as their requirement. Kind of sat with it for about a year or so, just continuing to add new features as we're working with them. And then at that point, SEO kind of started to pick in a little bit and started to receive some demos and started onboarding new centers here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of going through that iterative process of adding new features as we talk to more centers and they say, well, we have this use case for how we take and manage reservations, or we
Right.
really want to do a package this way. How do we implement it? And it's really just listening to their feedback, how they operate their business, and then building out these new controls that will support their goals.
Yeah, as I'm listening to you kind of explain that story and all the inputs and outputs of reservation software, it is a perfect problem for a software engineer, right? It's just like the perfect thing you could tackle.
It's a good challenge. I feel like every time I'm like, oh, we have everything that you need to go in and build and manage all of these types of reservations. And then I get on a demo and someone's like, how do I go in and implement this? Or I want to do this type of pricing structure. And it's like, that's a great idea. I never thought of that. No one's mentioned that before, but I'm sure there are other people that want to do something similar, or down the line, someone's going to want to do it. So we build out all of the new features really at no additional cost for the centers, and just build it as an optional feature that they can go in and configure and use at some point in time. So it's, you have to build a lot of flexibility into it, but a lot of the items are just you build them in a way that could be really scalable for all the businesses that you support.
Right. Yeah, it's tough because there's so many different ways that they do it. Right. Whether it's by game, by person, by the hour. There's a lot of different variability.
Yeah, so when we started Alley Track, it was really just open play reservations to start, but it could still support a large variety of reservations based on duration and the number of lanes that they need to book. But then very quickly into it, you realize you need to build packages to accommodate those other types of events that businesses are running. And birthday parties are a huge driver of revenue for bowling alleys. So you need to build in that functionality, and then all of those pricing structures that come into play. So originally, again, it was by the lane, like by the hour that you're looking for, but then you need to get in per game pricing, you need to get in per person pricing, and then you get into packages that have like a middle ground between that, where it's like $200 for a period of time, but then you can add on more things and whatnot. So
Right.
a lot of flexibility is the name of the game, really.
Hey, did you like this video? Great. We make 10 of them a week. Subscribe to learn more and keep learning about what's working in the industry. Talk to you then.